All right, let's talk a little sports right now. And just because of my mask, is going to talk about the Jets for a second. Tebow, again, controversy. But let's be honest. He didn't invite any of this BS. Some of his quote-unquote teammates think he's not so good here. And if you look at the Daily News, as many as 11 of them, between players and even reportedly management, have all said, quote-unquote, that he's terrible. Only one had the guts to put his name to it. Matt Slauson didn't throw him completely under the bus, but he did say that when it comes down to it, Sanchez, it's not even close. All the other quarterbacks, that means Tebow and McElroy, they know it. I have all the confidence in Sanchez. We don't really have a choice. Listen, for me, as a long-suffering fan, the first couple of years, it was easy to get behind him, bang, even chalk it up last year, but it's quickly turning into a clown car here, and I blame entirely Woody Johnson, who's clearly more interested in selling tickets than putting a good product in the field. I can't believe how fast the wheels have come off this thing. They have fallen off completely, and if you listen to Rex Ryan today talking about how great the punting game was with Tebow being in the up back position. Listen, we knew that when he got Tebow that this was going to be a circus. You knew if the team didn't go well, they were going to be searching for Tebow to be the starting quarterback, and he has no business being a starting quarterback in the NFL. And I feel bad for him. And that's what I feel bad for. He's a good who's kid. Done nothing wrong. He's kept his mouth shut, exactly. And he deserves better than. And the worst thing that could have happened to him, quite frankly, is the success that he had in very, very crazy circumstances last year in Denver. Right. Your Jets, until they get rid of Mr. T, and ultimately Ryan will come back for one more year, this team will continue to suffer. They're going to blow things up.
I just don't understand how they didn't see this coming. I mean, they brought Tim Tebow to the place where the New York Post lives. Like, you know, I mean, there was everybody around this table knew this was going to happen at some point. So it's just a shock to me that they tried it. Next thing for me on a more uplifting note, the Knicks. Again, they won last night. The team's won every one of its games by double digits. Dominic, is it time to buy in here? I left this team with the Sprewell, Marbury days here where there were a bunch of unwatchable punks, but they're actually playing defense. They're winning. And I find myself here watching again. My wife's like, what are you doing? I thought you were off the bat. I'm like, I'm hooked again.
It was time to buy in when the Knicks got Carmelo. I know some of you may not be fans of Carmelo, Anthony, but Carmelo is the man. And when you team up Carmelo with those threes from, what's his name, Novak and J.R. Smith. I didn't say the white guy. I didn't say that. And J.R. Smith, I mean, they're really good. They're really good. Really good.
But they're old. But they're deep, though. You know, that's the thing. They are really deep. And when you have a deep team, I know age, you know, you got to be careful with injuries, et cetera. But they are really put together really well, and you hit the nail on the head. Woodson has said, we are going to play defense. And when you play defense in this league, you're going to win games. And they have the talent to do it if they play defense.
Carmelo.
It's November, guys. It's November.
They're 5-0. We have to, listen, we've been through Isaiah Thomas. Oh, my God. The fact that let us enjoy the 5-0. We got back-to-back against San Antonio and Memphis. I have a great next candidate for that, and that's the Marlins.
Sure.
We've talked, you and I, many times about subsidizing ballparks, but only 7 months after opening a stadium I still want to see. $515 million new digs in Miami. They changed the name. They changed the unis. They're still the same old thieves here. They spruced themselves up, a roster of high-priced free agents. They won a spending binge last year. And now what did they do? They basically sold off between the middle of last year and now just yesterday in a really a shameful deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. They traded half their payroll here, and they hoodwinked their fans. And for me, you look in 1 year, they managed to compliment Fidel Castro with Ozzie Guillen, and they hustled the city here into ponying up half the money for the ballpark. And this clown of an owner turns around and says, never mind here. I think Major League Baseball, which has owner meetings, should really do something about this.
Look, baseball has a long history of teams selling off their best players. You can go back to Connie Mack and the Philadelphia A's. They did it every couple of years as soon as they got a good team going. However, this is different because they seem to leverage so much of this on getting that stadium deal and getting so much public money. I think the city of Miami, I think Miami Marlins fans should sue for fraud.
There are no fans, so that's the problem.
And frankly, this is where a strong commissioner who's not an owner or a former owner, one who actually would invoke what's in the best interest of baseball, would step in and say, look, you want to trade your 5 best players to 5 different teams, that's your business. Right. But you're not going to trade them all to Toronto for a bag of balls. It's just, it's unfair.
And for me, Tom, wait a minute.
The problem is, Andrew, it's not a bag of balls because some of the people in that trade are very good. The problem is that they may not be ready for 3 or 5 years. The problem is, and this is a problem in hockey, it's a problem in basketball, and even in football in Jacksonville, there are certain cities that should not have sports franchises. Miami should not have a sports franchise. Who in their right mind in the middle of the summer is going to a baseball game in Miami? Nobody.
Here's my problem.
They can't fill the stadium.
And I find we're on reverse sides of this. They get welfare. Every Major League Baseball team gets the equivalent of welfare from the teams like the Yankees and the bigger spenders. They don't even spend what they get from the other teams in payroll.
Right.
And this,
they keep it.
And this crook has enough audacity. Right. I would not let him sell the team. He sells the team right now with that low payroll and that stadium deal. He'll make a mint.
I'm not saying sell
the
it.
Yankees paid
I'm not saying sell the team. That franchise needs to go away.
Well, now they got a stadium. They ain't going away. We'll be right back after this.